Well, since no one's listening to it, probably a good time to check the audio. All right, as long as we're not in about two, what should you?
Looks good, Lois.
Is that Mr. Backsoon?
Yep, back soon, they call me. Saw you on the big show. Saw you on the big show the other night.
Oh, you last night on the show?
Yeah, good for you.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It was. I liked it. Every time I see Backsoon, I remember that
Clean show.
Eeyore in the book. Never mind.
Wow, look who's here. Ron. Look who's here.
Hello, Peter. Since we're early, Peter, you want to test your audio levels? He's got the meters in.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What are you shooting for?
That's a good question.
I'm about at 24. I think Ray is too. Hard to tell with the music in the background.
Yeah, it really is.
Is that a hint that I should turn the music off?
You're not even setting the music with original sound on.
You know, I come back and all they do is complain. Complain.
Well, you're actually, is it me, Ray, or is it somebody else? You're coming in like Cyloning.
What does Cyloning mean?
Don't you remember? You're very garbled.
I'm garbled?
No, he's not.
Well,
he's perfectly fine.
Maybe
Thank
all of
you,
you are.
Lois.
Well, maybe that's my end.
Stop bickering, children.
Hi, everybody.
Are we
Hi,
streaming?
Ray.
Are we streaming yet?
We've been streaming for the past 6 minutes.
Uh-oh. I thought the countdown was till streaming, you see.
No.
I didn't quite get that right. Oh, well.
No, we've been live. We heard everything you said.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm well, David. Thank you. And thanks for sneaking in the sneak out last week. Left me. I did the best I could with what I had.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and I'm sorry I haven't been here. My mother-in-law, may her memory be a blessing, passed away, and it was a long journey, and I was working with her and being with my wife, and so I'm back now.
Family comes first.
Family comes first, and I'm actually really, really excited to just be here today. Because I really missed it. We're such dorks, by the way. We are such dorks that I look forward to talking about Zoom so much. Oh, it's fantastic.
Is dork a good thing?
You know what? I'm taking it.
I'm
taking it. I'm going to wear that with pride. Absolutely.
All right.
Speaking of...
I'll wear nerd, so there we go.
Oh, nerd. Yeah, so that's like an interesting question. What's the difference between dork and nerd and geek?
Oh,
You
they're
know,
all.
there's a
totally.
fantastic comedian. Oh my goodness, he does this whole thing with PowerPoints. His comedy is through PowerPoint. It's actually fantastic, and he does this whole thing about a Venn diagram of what makes a nerd and what makes a dork and what makes a geek. So that's what we need.
There is some overlap.
Oh, there's definitely overlap.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, wait. I need to now see now though. Now this is a problem because now I need to find that. Let's just say hello. Hey, Lois.
Hi.
How are
Hey,
you?
David, I have had so much fun lately. I have been coming on this new show, and it's wonderful. It was last night with you, the rundown.
I really enjoy it also. A lot.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoy it. Here it is. His name is Don McMillan. Now, I don't want to actually play it because I don't want us to get in trouble.
I have the screen.
Let's see if, hold on, let me mute this. And let's see if I can get to the good stuff here.
Well, we'll play it ourselves.
Well, I'm going to tell you what he says. So,
Okay.
am
You've got the PowerPoint, of course.
I have no, I don't have the PowerPoint. All right. I do not want to waste our time on this because I'm not finding it right now. In any case, yes, I've really, really enjoyed that show also, and the discussions. Really enjoyed it. And I really enjoy seeing Hasmuk here. That always
Hi.
makes me happy.
Hi.
How are you?
Evening. I'm very well. It's 10 p.m. now since you moved your clocks for no reason whatsoever.
I sense some bitterness.
Yeah, so it's an hour later than usual for me.
Ay. Sorry about that.
I always assumed you were a night owl, Hasmuk, because you are always so chipper at 9 at night.
That's just a facade.
Well, you got a good facade then.
It's funny because I don't know what time it is where he is, so I just always assume that it's the middle of the night where he is. And time doesn't really matter because Hasmuk's meters are everywhere all the time. So
Oh dear.
oh dear.
Oh yeah. You have Spider-Man and now I'm a meter man.
Meter man. I love that.
You need a T-shirt.
And that sultry voice is the voice
Yeah.
of Peter Sargent. Hello, sir.
You never call a sergeant, sir.
What do I call you?
Sergeant.
Oh, how are you, Sergeant?
Ray knows that reference, doesn't he?
All right, I found it. Ready? So you all have to tell. So if you're socially awkward and you have a high IQ, you're a dork. If you are socially awkward and are obsessed, you're a stalker. If you have a high IQ and you're obsessed, you're a geek. If you have a high IQ, you're obsessed, and you're socially awkward, then you're a nerd.
Well, we can disagree with him, can't we?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Hey, I don't know if any of you saw, but just before we jumped on, maybe an hour before, we got some release notes for a release that's coming up next week, which actually has a few things in it, which is kind of neat. But before we jump into that, what did I miss, Ray? Did we talk about anything anything that came up that
we always talk about exciting things in the Zoom test
Of
kitchen.
course.
In fact, we had a good session. Wasn't as long as normal, but you know me, I have to bail because of family about 90
Sure.
minutes in. So, but it was very, very productive. We talked about a problem that I'm facing, and that is onboarding new people that have to the Ivy team that have no Zoom experience. And if they're going to communicate with people and tell them the advantages of Ivy, they're going to need to be very capable. And we've found a number of clients who we thought did this all the time and then found out they didn't know what they looked like. They didn't know what they sounded like. and we can't have customer service people that don't know how to fix that or recognize it or fix it.
Yeah.
And we're all faced with that. I'm trying to get people that look better. I mean, my moniker has long been, this isn't a phone call, this is TV. So let's dress like it, let's look like it, let's sound like it.
Yeah.
And that's a fair point. I mean, I had a rather embarrassing situation on a Zoom session I was running for the Boy Scouts where I didn't have the embarrassing, but it went out to everyone on the Zoom call because somebody was doing Zoom and they were well lit. They sounded good. They were sitting in front of a mirror. And what suddenly appeared walking, and they said, well, obviously the person's off camera, but not realizing that the mirror saw them as they walked by in camera. And what we say, less than full dress.
Sorry. Ay. You'd think
Wasn't
we
the,
would
it
have
was
learned.
it was one of those heaven forbid Boy Scout moments that you really don't want to have to explain.
Yeah.
I want to compliment Ray on handling the meeting last week because I think he did a very good job. He kept getting us back onto point. He called on people. He organized it well. He was a good leader.
A good shepherd.
No,
That's why he's here.
these were kittens.
Okay.
Yeah, shepherds
Yeah,
lead people who are used to being led, and no, we're all over the place. But
I
It was
think
an
what
honor.
Lewis is
I was
saying
happy to
that
do it.
what Lewis is saying, David, if you have to go away for any reason, we won't miss you as much as we missed you before.
You know what? That's the best compliment, right? When a really good leader, right? What do? They make it so that the systems continue without them when in absentia. So there you go. That's
we go.
fantastic. Hey, there was some good news, by the way, for us Zoomies, and specifically those of us who. I shouldn't say those of us because I don't really do much at all, but those who work in the Zoom community. And that is that the 2024 Kudos winners, forgive me for not knowing what this is, but were announced. And if you scroll down here, Zoom won for Best Customer Support Community, which is pretty amazing. We were all allowed to vote on this, so I definitely voted for it. But this is all about the team, not just I think the team that is hired, but also the team that jumps into that community and offers support. So this is kind of exciting. That and here are some interesting numbers from this. So the Zoom community by the numbers, solution views increased by 50%. This is back in 2023. 2023 to 2024. Community visits increased by 20%, unique visitors by 25%, page views by 11%. This is all folks going to the Zoom support site to community. From the support site to the community, and from Google to community, which is fantastic. 53.6% increase in organic traffic to the community. So for any of us who say that they don't use the community enough, it's growing.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So good for them. Congratulations.
We're really blessed by some of the very active community members.
We
that
are.
join us here. Yeah,
and
they're on
one of
holiday
them-
today, but
And check this out.
Uh-huh.
Right here, our own Ray Harwood, community champion customer. He's right here in this in their application for this, which is really fantastic. So, in any case,
kudos.
good, absolutely good on them. Yeah.
One question I would have is it increased so much from 2023 to 2024. When did it start? Is it like it's a new thing, so it's increasing because it's a new thing? Or is it, been around for 5 years?
It's an interesting question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's
You all
great
know?
that it's increasing, but from what?
Here we go. Let's see. The Zoom community was created to meet the needs of Zoom users worldwide, offering a dynamic In response to growing demand for 24/7 online support, the Zoom community team was established in March 2021. By August of the same year, the community officially launched and has since expanded to over 371,000 members, 173,000 posts, 39 million page views, and 24 million visits.
I was there in March when it began.
Really?
That's when the office hours began.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We go
Yeah.
back that far, don't we, Peter?
Mm-hmm.
We're much younger
Yeah.
then, weren't we?
Well,
Sorry.
yes, I was younger then. I don't know if I'd ever used the acronym much at that point in time, but
I think the whole point of this was really to allow Zoom to scale without having to add hundreds and hundreds of support service people, because they knew that there were folks out there like Ray who could, offer support in a community setting.
yeah. Well, I also think, to your point, I mean, there's a lot of folks, Ray included, that can, people get on Zoom and they don't think about what they're doing, right? I still get people who I would think by now would know that, click the participants button on the bottom and you actually see who's online.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that Zoom has done a good job of encouraging users to feel like they're listened to. And I think that starting the community group was one of those ways of doing it. And it grew so much, so fast, that getting input from the users was a really smart thing to do, because then the company could know what was wanted.
Yeah. And there are Zoomies that live and breathe in that community and that really do pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's
So-
the Zoom test kitchen.
And then there's us.
Uh,
And then there's us. There was, by the way, an update last week, but it was just for you Windows folks, right? It was a
Yeah.
small little something. Let me see if I can find it.
So do we have anyone coming with a question today other than the updates? Any questions or problems or things you want to explore?
I don't have any, but
So I would like to, I don't know who's going to be hearing this in the future, but I would like to have someone explain what this mechanical device is in the middle of our screen. We have a lovely gallery, and then there's this thing. And
are you talking
Husmuk,
about the meters?
yeah, Husmuk, it's your thing. Do you want to try and explain it to people?
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So kind of a sidebar, and I'm holding on my wooden desk as hard as I can because I had a discussion with the alumni of sound on office hours. When I bring in the meters in office hours, when they move the meeting to a room, the meters freeze. And often my team has to then put a cursor on the meter and click the meter window, and the meter then starts responding. So The setup is using audio hijack to do the routing. So in audio hijack, we first set up with loopback a input that then goes into USB 1 and 2. So the audio goes out, and then we send it to whichever device we want to monitor the audio going out. And so that we call, that Mickey did for me some many years ago, called Zoom Capture. So that's an acronym we use as Zoom Capture. And so in my Zoom client, it picks it up as the speaker, as Zoom Capture. And in audio hijack, the device input is Zoom Capture, and the pathway is through the meters, and that's how the meters picks up the audio. And the meters is when you launch the meters, it is obviously on your desktop screen, and then I use Mimo Live to do the screen capture of the meter. And so what you're seeing there is the Mimo Live going out to the meeting. So currently the meters are running in a remote machine in my office, and that's how I bring it into Zoom Test Kitchen. So just before the meeting starts, I VPN into my office machine and launch the workflow in the meters. Then there is a number of settings in the meters itself that you gotta get right. So I think I posted this in Discord in office hours some time ago. And then also there's a video you'll find somewhere in office hours how to set up these WLM meters. That setup was with OBS. And what we found that both with OBS and Mimo Live, you can capture your meter either as a window or as a screen. But if you capture it as a window, that means you have to indicate which application window you're looking at. There's quite a bit of latency between the meters responding and the audio. So the best efficient way of doing it is to rather do a screen capture, and that's what Mimo Live does for us. So with Mimo Live, we mark off the screen that we want to capture, and that's what we bring into. So it's a WLM is a plugin from Rogue Amoeba, and it has to be licensed for it to be functional. You buy the license once, and then you get a second license if you purchase a service, I think it's called, that you can use as a second license, but that's just annual renewable second license. Your first license is a permanent license. So that's in summary, Louis. Can't
You're on
hear
mute,
you.
you're in mute, Louis.
I have a couple of questions on what you said.
Yes.
When the sound is being picked up through your Zoom catcher, does it pick up all the sound of coming in from Zoom, or have you got an isolation thing going on different people? It's just total
No.
sound.
It's the simple thing is to select the speaker as your audio input.
And is that what you do?
Yeah, so
So
we just call that speaker Zoom Capture because that's how we've set it up in loopback.
So if David is playing music and he's the speaker, and he's, and then I start talking, which one, or is it a combination of the two?
It'll pick up everything. Yeah, so at the beginning of the meeting, even before anybody speaks, when the music is playing, the meter is responding. So whatever is coming into Zoom, the meter will respond to. And then when Peter tried to set up align his audio, both the music and Peter were being picked up by the meter.
Yeah.
So there's no separation.
Yeah,
So
I noticed that. Yeah.
So we need to be quiet and do one at a time.
Correct.
Right. So Lois, it depends on it depends on the audio routing. So for example, this is WLM meters here in audio hijack, just the way he has it set up. And because I have a Rodecaster Pro here, the way that I have to have this set up is I actually have two input devices. This input device over here is actually Zoom, essentially. And then this one up here is my mic and any other audio coming through my system. And so both of these flow into WLM meter right here. And then the meters sit right over here. Now, I don't know what I'm doing with these meters at all. I'm lucky that the numbers are even moving. I don't know if they're correct. I do see that they are different than Hasmuk's numbers. That there could be a lot of different reasons for that. But I will say I tried to set this up at home, and I have a completely different setup at home. I just have a Streamer X. It's not. I haven't found audio at all to be simple, and this is no exception to that rule.
Well, and the other thing that will affect the meters is, I'm assuming most of us are running with original sound off right now.
Correct.
Right. And so Zoom is doing its magic on how it's picking up over the mic. Right. It will adjust levels and things to what it thinks is correct.
Right. And the meters will
Respond
gauge
accordingly.
Right. They will only gauge. They can only gauge what they're given. But my point in sharing that with you, Lois, is that Zoom. We're not getting ISO audio feeds out of Zoom. It's muxing the audio, and that's why, as someone said in chat, Dan says, and by the way, hi Dan, that everyone needs to mute in order for this, which is why I was laughing behind my camera when Peter was trying to test his audio when I had music playing. Like that's just not going to work at all.
No, it's
ever.
not. It's not. The only time you kind of touched on it. You didn't realize it, but I've played with this same thing. But when I'm using ZoomISO, I can actually get isolated audio.
Sure. And you can route that using these tools. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And then I can check people out and not worry about other people, trying to talk over the background.
I think what the point David is making is the meter is going to pick up whatever input chain you are feeding to the meter icon in that audio hijack.
Yeah.
So if you've got two inputs is going to pick up both. We obviously have only one input, which is the audio speaker as you have selected in your Zoom client.
Right. And to further that point, I mean, David, what you're seeing on your meters, because you're speaking into your mic and that WLM is responding to what you're speaking into your mic, those are your numbers.
Pre-processed. Pre-Zoom.
Well, yes.
No, it is pre-Zoom, and that's actually important because
that's important
because because for me, this is the part of this that was challenging for me, is that it wouldn't hear me when I just used the Zoom input. It wasn't capturing me because I'm on the same machine. And Zoom is mix minusing me by default. And what I had to do is I had to add in myself as a separate input in order to get both me and the Zoom guests So yeah,
Correct.
it's
Correct. Yeah. Usually when people try and run the meters from the client that they're hosting the meeting, meters not going to pick them up as a speaker. It'll only
Correct.
pick up everybody else that's in the meeting.
or do it the smart way, which is what Hasmik does, which is run it on a separate computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one comment and two more questions. And the comment is, I don't have these meters. I haven't bought a license. I don't, that's of my pay grade. But what I have done is I do have Audio Hijack, and in Audio Hijack, they have meters. So my partner and I record this radio show every week. So we have it so that we turn on the Auto Hijack and we see what our levels are in the meters. And it's rough, but it is close enough for us to get a decent quality radio show out of it. So for people listening, meters is not the only way to do this thing. My question, Hasma, is, I see numbers there. I know that the one on the left is the one that I'm supposed to pay attention to. And I know I'm supposed to be around, 24, and it's kind of hot right now.
Yes.
I'll move my microphone a little bit away.
Yes.
What do the meters numbers mean? What are they?
Before we do that, if it's okay, Lois, I just want to show people what you were just talking about, I think. So there are a couple of different, if you over here, it's called blocks in Audio Hijack. If you just type in meter, you get, here's the WLM stuff down here, but there's a peak RMS meter right here. There's also stereo VU meter. And so you can see right now that, again, I just put it after whatever my input sources are. And when I speak, it's giving me my levels. Now, this is actually telling me that I'm much hotter than I think I am. So I'm not sure that I did this correctly. But the other nice thing about using these meters is if I click that button right there, now I've got a set of meters right up here in my menu bar, which is actually pretty darn cool. In fact, I might keep that on because I kind of like that. If nothing else, it looks cool. Hasbrook, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's obviously called LUFS, and I don't know the definition of LUFS. So, but the only way you can align the number in terms of the LUFS is you have to speak a sentence or two. You cannot just say testing, testing, and then assume that that's the correct level. So you have to speak for a little while and then allow the meters to settle on a particular number, and that will tell you from the LUFS point of view. Now, even in office hours, they use 2 meters to ensure that the meters are aligned. So often they have 2 meters and people are speaking in 2 meters. And sometimes Mickey will pick up that one or the other meters is not set correctly. And Mickey being Mickey, he's always 110% correct. And, and not only is he correct, but I wish every physician was like him. He would know exactly where to go and fix the problem. So he'll tell you which menu to dive into.
I see that the middle thing, it says long term, so I'm assuming that's going to be the
That's
average
over the long. That's
thing
correct. The
everybody
average.
says.
Correct.
Does it go to 0 if no one's talking, or does it only record when someone is speaking?
The LUFS will go down to, it'll settle on the last spoken person's LUF. So the meters never go down to 0.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for putting up with this, because I think it's really important that people understand the basics of Zoom, and finding your levels is one of those basics.
Well, I would actually argue that there's nothing basic about what about this. I mean, this is, you know, what's basic is if you click on, and I'll do it so folks can see, if you click on the little caret next to the audio button, and then you go into audio settings.
You're
So
not
here's-
sharing anything.
No, I know. So here's why I was getting it open. So here are my audio settings. Basic is using this and making sure that your audio is hanging out somewhere in the green, right?
Correct.
And that, because if it's too soft, then it'll be red or yellow, which actually is kind of opposite. I'm not sure what does it look like when I see, I don't even know how to show that.
It gets orange and then it gets red.
Well, but red is at the bottom too. So I'm not quite understood. I don't quite understand
Just
that. And-
all that, because I asked the question of Zoom once. All that is, again, is since we're all probably using, you know, the way you have it set right now, which is you don't have original sound turned on, right? You have the ability to turn it on, but you don't have it turned on,
Correct.
right? Zoom is doing it for you. Zoom is figuring out what levels, and it's what that red bar at the bottom or at the top is saying is you're either underdriving or overdriving Zoom's ability to give you decent sound.
Right.
But
Right.
Zoom only controls it if you turn on the automatic part. Otherwise, it tries to use your level.
No,
No.
that's not true.
It's actually the
there's a setting,
opposite. Yeah.
and there's a setting at least on my Mac, it's in the upper right-hand corner that says original sound for musicians is off. And
So
you
let-
can switch it on,
About original sound, I'm talking about
but
it
that's what
automatically adjusting.
no, that's the point is if you turn off, if you go back to the other screen that you had, David,
Yeah.
if you go and say that says basically it's a little misleading because it says allow you to turn on original sound for musicians. If you don't have it turned on in the upper right hand corner, it's doing the automatic adjustment of your audio.
So let me
But there's a button above that says automatic adjust microphone volumes.
I understand that.
And you're saying it doesn't do anything?
No,
hold on a second. Let me jump in for a second. So Zoom background noise removal does a few different things.
right.
It will suppress noise that doesn't sound like spoken word,
Like my
And
dog barking.
right? And it will also adjust, as I understand it, it will adjust the gain of the level of your mic,
Right.
so that it's at a reasonable level, whether or not automatically adjust microphone volume is enabled. I think maybe I'm wrong
Yeah.
about that.
So,
Because the reason I think that is because I can't hit automatically adjust microphone volume because of the way that because of my particular routing. That's not an option for me. And if I actually turn on original sound, so not just click it here, but actually go into the meeting and turn it down, my volume goes down because
Right.
Zoom is no longer artificially increasing it.
Correct.
So Zoom is playing with our audio to benefit us. And when we tell folks, hey, if you want to have sound effects and stuff come through, you have to turn on original sound, then they turn on and all of a sudden their mic isn't quite as hot as it was before. That's why. Because Zoom is doing much more when you click on background noise removal.
And that's the other place where you see that is if you try and share a video, there's a little checkbox that says this is optimized for
mhm.
video. That will by definition let the video come through correctly from YouTube. Pick your poison that you're sharing because it essentially turns on original sound for musicians at that point.
So I don't know where you guys are getting this from, but from experience doing the radio shows, I know that if I check that box, it says automatically adjust microphone volume, then I cannot adjust the input volume because Zoom is going to do it for me. If
Correct.
I uncheck that box, I can then adjust the input volume so that it matches my partner so the radio show sounds good. If I have it checked, it doesn't work for us.
Well, no, it won't. It
Yeah.
it simply won't.
Well, then why are you saying that it doesn't make any difference? It makes a big difference.
It makes because you're essentially taking control away from Zoom when you
Yeah.
uncheck that box.
That's
But
right.
you're also not when you play music. Have you played music that way?
No, I'm just talking. I'm not
Yeah.
playing music. I'm not doing any of that other stuff. And I do have below there, I do have the ability to turn on original sound if I want to, because I've
Right.
checked the box.
And yeah, I know you do, but at that point, if you don't check that box and you do try and play music, I will bet it will sound marginal at best because the audio
Right, but
encoding,
that
the
that's
audio
not.
encoding
Yeah, but I
won't
don't think
work.
that's what Lois is saying. I think what Lois is asking about, which is a fair question, because I don't know the answer to this, is if what I just described about about Zoom adjusting your audio level to make it better, louder, as it were, when you use Zoom background noise removal. If they're doing that, then why do we have this button here that says automatically adjust microphone volume? That seems redundant if they're doing it anyway.
I think I know why that would be there. And I don't use it when I'm recording my show with my partner, but when I'm sitting in the meeting room and there's a whole room full of people sitting in a circle, we have our microphone on and we do have Zoom automatically adjusting it, because if someone's in the distance and they're talking, their voice is softer than the person who's sitting right next to the microphone.
Right.
And we want them to adjust that. So that's where the microphone is adjusting by Zoom according to the volume that it's picking up. That is different than a person with a microphone adjusting their own level. That's two separate situations.
Can I just, Frank, I don't mean to pick on you, but do you have any sense of what's going on here with like, am I wrong? Is Zoom, every time I turn on original audio, my level drops. Is Zoom not artificially increasing my gain when it also is doing the background noise removal?
I don't know for sure. I mean, I think that would be a closely guarded intellectual property of Zoom, exactly how they're doing the audio adjustments for you. But I think it's safe to say that if you're allowing it to automatically adjust your audio levels, it'll boost or cut your audio. And if you do background noise reduction, they have various levels of that. You can do it aggressively or a little bit. It's probably going to add some what it thinks is voice enhancement back in if it's cutting other sounds. So certain frequencies would probably get boosted while others would be suppressed.
So it may not be about Zoom adjusting the gain. It may just be the processing and how that affects the
I would think
level.
frequencies and stuff, because the human voice is in a certain range of frequencies. So I would think that they would probably boost those a little, and other sounds that are outside that range would get cut. So it's more of
Gotcha.
an EQing
Okay.
than a boosting,
Okay.
which
That
is
makes sense.
cutting in a way, right? But it's
Yeah.
cutting specific frequencies.
Does that make
Right.
sense, Lois? That made sense to me a little bit.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
more sense than
Yeah.
than
That's
checking
why
what
that's why
doesn't do it.
Frank's here. But he makes more sense than the rest of us. Yeah. Thank you for that. But sorry, just to jump back, Lois, and then we can wrap this piece up, is because you had started by suggesting that audio levels are kind of basic, and the basic way to do this is to look in your audio settings, and you can see that input level, and with no granularity whatsoever, you can see if I'm in the green or not. And for most people, it's going to be fine, right? If you have a panel, for example, and you want folks to be sort of in line with one another, that I think is where these WLM meters, or even the meters that you found, Lois, I didn't know that they were there over in Audio Hijack. Even those would be helpful. Anything that can allow you to gauge one person against another person, I think would be
And then
would be helpful.
figuring out how to increase or decrease your volume is a separate issue once you see the meters. So my
Yeah.
inclination is to leave the settings as they are, because I don't want to mess up my next radio show.
And
just
move the mic.
the microphone further
Yeah.
away, or bring it closer. But that changes the quality of my voice. And so I don't know.
Sure, you get more room. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Frank, go ahead.
For people who aren't professionals at audio, audio is probably the hardest thing to do in broadcasting, I think. And just to go back to analog audio days, the concept that's really important is audio levels could be whatever the plant engineer says they are. They could be, we could be creating to -20, we could be creating to -12, we can create to -24, as long as we're all on the same reference standard. So when you have a bunch of people who know nothing about audio, as long as you have some meters and everyone agrees that a certain level is the level we're all going to try and target, it doesn't really matter if you pick -12 or if you pick -20. It's that you're all trying to hit the same target so that your audio is the same level relative to my audio. That's the most important concept in this.
Yeah. It's in the recording world, it's sort of like mastering, right? What mastering does is it makes sure that the audio level of one song is at about the same audio level, overall level as the next song on the album.
Right.
So one of the things that listeners can take away from this, by the way, if we ever try, what?
Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. If we ever tried to go to 12, I'd be out of luck, because that's really, really, really loud.
I'm not talking about LUFS. These are LUFS. There's different audio scales. I'm not talking about LUFS. I'm talking about dB, which is a different audio scale. There's different audio scales.
Okay. So
Right.
if one does not have meters and one is going to be in a meeting and you'd like everybody to sound about the same because you're planning to record it, there's an easier way to do it than anything we've said before. Have one person who has good ears listen to everybody talk and go, okay, Lois, you're a little high. Frank, oh, you're really high. Hasmuk, pump it up a little bit. And they can do, everybody else can't do themselves. Somebody else have to do them. But we have good ears, and it's a great way to do it if you have the time and you're willing to do it. Hasmuk, you're nodding your head. Have you done this before?
Yeah, initially I did that before I was wizened up by Mickey about meters. So yeah, I did do that. A question I have, if you're done, Louis, is the relationship between original sound for musician, whether it's on or off, and automatically adjust microphone volume. What's the relationship?
If
That's a-
if I understand it correctly, original sound basically backs their processing completely out of the picture, because they're assuming that whoever did the video, assuming that's what you're showing or playing some music, figured out, to Frank's point, did all the mastering to figure out what the sound should sound like.
So if original sound for musician is checked as on, then all the settings in that audio tab are not in effect. That's really what we're saying.
Wait, really?
Go look.
That's the question I'm asking.
So it
Go-
doesn't. So unfortunately, I can't test this because again, my setup, I can't automatically adjust microphone volume. But someone who can automatically adjust microphone volume, turn
Well,
on
I-
original sound and see what happens.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah. I think.
So now I'm talking, and does this sound correct or not? With original sound on.
Keep
Well, yeah.
talking for a while.
But the question is, in your settings, are you still able to control automatically adjust microphone volume?
Let me look. Settings, audio settings.
Incidentally, while he's doing that, I have found that under Zoom background noise removal, there are 4 options: auto, low, medium, and high. The default is set to auto. I have found that if you have it set to low, most of your music, if you're playing music and things, will get through just fine. I found that low really doesn't do a whole heck of a lot of noise suppression.
So I can, even though I'd share it, except Zoom doesn't let me share Zoom control screens easily. And I'm just in my normal Zoom client.
You can just tell us.
Under audio profile, so the checkbox is set to automatically adjust the microphone volume, but I'm running with original music sound for musicians on. And I still have the checkboxes for Zoom background noise removal.
Can you uncheck automatically adjust microphone volume? Or can you control your volume?
I just unchecked it.
Yeah. Okay. So you still have full control, it sounds like.
Right. So,
But if you have original sound from musicians checked in that panel, it then disables the other 2 radio buttons, and you cannot do the Zoom background noise removal because that radio button is no longer functional.
well,
Right,
that's
the whole point.
that's a choice of you're making which processing you want it to do.
Right. And so he's talking about if original sound is on or off in the meeting,
Right.
can you still do this other stuff? And I think if you click Zoom background noise, it will disable original sound because they're radio buttons.
Correct. So right now I have original sound for musicians capability enabled. I have it turned off because as soon as I uncheck that box, I check the different radio button, it turned original sound off on my client.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Going at the same-
So right now I have, so let me keep talking and I'll do this. I'm going to turn on original sound for musicians and I'm going to keep talking. And then I'm going to go over here to the settings and I'm going to say, instead do Zoom background noise.
Oh, no, that I
removal.
know what's going to change it. Sure. Yeah.
It's going to turn it off and now I'm back to the way I
Right. So let's take a step back here. So because it is a little confusing, these in your settings, these are called audio profiles.
Right.
You can only have one active at any given moment. You can have Zoom background removal, personalized audio isolation, original sound, which is what all of us tend to use from time to time, and then live performance, which is kind of the new one that's in beta. This is the one that allows you to sing more in sync with one another or play instruments in sync with one another. And it actually works pretty well. I've tested it. The tricky part about this is that when you change from Zoom background noise removal to original sound for musicians, you're not actually changing anything. All you're doing is allowing another button to exist in your Zoom meeting, in the top right-hand corner of your Zoom meeting.
And it actually says that right below it.
Right? Right. It says displays in-meeting toggle to switch between Zoom optimized audio and original sound for musicians. So once you click this, you now have a button that says original sound for musicians off in your Zoom client, in the meeting window. When you check that, it'll say original sound for musicians on. Now, here's the piece that's also important about this, is that when it's off, so I'm still original sound for musicians, that's the audio profile I want, but I have not enabled original sound for musicians, it's still off. I'm still using Zoom background noise removal, right? All this does is it gives me a toggle switch to switch between Zoom optimized audio, which is really what they're using, 2 different titles here. They really should use the same one, and they really should call this Zoom optimized audio, and original sound for musicians. And the last thing I'll say about this is that when I go into Zoom background noise removal, I get these, how much suppression do I want? Auto, low, medium, or high. Whatever I choose here is sticky. That is to say, when I switch to original sound for musicians, but I don't actually enable it, the background noise suppression that Zoom is going to give me is whatever I've chosen here, even though I can't even access that information anymore.
That
It really
sounds
is a
really
little
bizarre.
It really is a little convoluted, if you ask me.
By
And
the way,
most-
when they first introduced original sound, it was seriously convoluted for those of us who remember back in the early days of office hours. They had it reversed.
Right.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
I guess
What
I'm not sure that we need a profile for original sound. I think we just need a button, just a toggle. That's
Yeah.
all. Just
That's
give me
all
a
that says.
toggle, have it persistent in every meeting. And like every other button, I'm not going to click it unless I need it.
Well, but you need to understand what that button does, because
Absolutely.
it is going to make the people walking around, make the noise be there, even if you usually don't hear that noise, and it's going to make your. Now, you said it got louder or got softer? It got softer, didn't it?
It
When
gets-
Peter
it
turned
gets-
on, it got softer.
Right. It gets a little softer. By the way, Mike, who's watching on YouTube, good to see you, Mike. And thank you, Ray, for popping that in there. I didn't see that. Said that not to forget to click on the question mark, because it does explain a little bit by each of these. So Zoom background noise removal, the question mark here says automatically applies Zoom's software audio processing to give the highest quality sound for most users. Original sound enables in-meeting option that disables Zoom noise suppression and removes high-pass filtering and automatic gain control. Automatic gain control. See, again, that's the piece that I was thinking about before, Lois. I continue to believe that it's not, I don't know if I continue to believe, but I think that it's not just EQ. I think that when you're using Zoom background noise removal, which again, they really should change the name of that to Zoom optimized audio, which is what they have here. I think they are automatically controlling your gain, and that the input, because remember, gain and level are two different things, right? You can turn on a mixing board, you have a gain knob and you have a level that you can adjust.
So, David, leaving your screen just like it is, if you would start speaking, and let's watch that little green bar as it goes, then switch to the audio sound on or off, whatever, switch to the
Right.
other way in your meeting, and let's see if that makes a change.
Well, actually, I would argue that the better way to do what you just said is to look at Hasmuk's meters, because I'm not sure you'll see it as clearly here.
Well, let's try it. Let's try
Right.
both.
All right, so we'll start here. So I now have original sound off, and I'm talking, and now I'm going to turn it on. And now I'm talking. It went down one bar.
Yeah.
Went down one bar. Talking. Now it's
But
off again.
the frequency response changed a lot.
Did it?
Yes. Yeah.
Your voice is very different.
Yeah. So now let
You want to
me.
do the same thing with Hasmuk's meters?
Yeah, I'm just gonna spotlight. Oh, you know what? I'll do both actually. I'll spotlight him. All right. So now my original sound is off. So I'm talking. I'm around 22, 23. Now I'm going to toggle it on. So now it's on, and I'm going to keep talking. And I'm now around 25, 26, 27. Yeah, it goes down a couple. It does. It definitely goes down a couple. And maybe that's gain. Maybe that's EQ. As
Zoom
the
is
Francis
set up
said.
to favor the human voice.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not the same as a mixing board that is doesn't care what frequencies are coming into it. It's specifically set up to favor the human voice because we're meeting with humans.
Mhm. So if my microphone is normally a little bit too high for this group, if I just turned on or turned on original sound, maybe it would make it go down sufficient. And so I'll do that and I'll turn it on and keep talking. And it went
and
from
no, but
16 to
I'm not sure.
22.
I'm not sure that's not what original sound is for. I hear what you're saying.
I know what
and
it's not for, but the
it-
question
it
is,
may
can you still
accomplish
hear me
that.
well? Can you
Yeah.
hear me well? Does that sound okay? Does it sound better
Absolutely.
on Rough? Okay. So then maybe I'll just do that when I'm in this meeting and then I won't have to mess up the radio side.
Yes, but then just bear in mind that every little beep, bop, boop in the background we're going to hear.
And you have a much bigger chance of getting audio feedback.
Right.
Oh,
I
echo cancellation is still on.
Echolocation. Now we're talking about bats.
No, echo cancellation.
I think the message to the users is that original sound for musician on or off is only useful when you have a processor that controls your audio input. If you're only controlling your audio through the client, then you need to let Zoom manage your audio, meaning cutting out
really-
background noise. Yeah.
That's a really smart way of framing it, I think. You're right.
Right.
If you have outboard gear, then you can think about using original audio. And you don't need to think about original audio for when you're sharing music or video, because Zoom knows and it will take care of that for you as long as you tell it that you're sharing audio through that video. But
So-
if you don't have outboard gear, let Zoom handle it.
So let's try this. I'm going to talk some more and then I'm going to change it one button and we're going to see if it makes any difference. So here I am. I'm talking about everything that's very interesting and then everything changed. Now, did it make a difference? Could you tell a difference? I'm going to change it back now and let's see. Did it make any difference? Could you tell a difference?
The
I could-
frequency changed a little.
Yeah, I could hear something.
I also think that when Zoom's doing your audio for you, it doesn't respond immediately. It's analyzing you and it takes some time for it. Over the course of time, it's adjusting you more and more.
Correct.
So if in the first minute, it may not be as much of an impact as it would be in 3 minutes.
So I'll just leave it on for the rest of the meeting and we'll see how it goes.
Interesting.
Just one last thing is that button for automatically adjust microphone.
That's
If you
what
have
I'm
that,
clicked. That's
if
what
you,
I clicked.
if you have that checked, you can't control your input volume. If you have
Right.
it unchecked, then you can control your input volume.
Right.
Right.
And
That's
I'll
again,
just check-
again for those who don't have a board to control their audio.
Right.
The vast majority of Zoom users have no idea what any of the things you were talking about are. And if you said you have to figure out your own audio, nobody would ever have an intelligent meeting again because we wouldn't be able to hear each other.
Right.
Which is why 99% of the people or 95% of the people should just trust Zoom to do it for them. And it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, there will be times when when I don't know, this happened. I've had this happen with cantors who, they join a Zoom and they're singing and the singing gets cut out by Zoom. Okay, I get it. And that can be frustrating, but that's a learning opportunity. You are in the 5% who should know how to use original audio.
And
The only sort of caveat that I think, which I'm going to put here, is that let's say we have a user, they have no outside board to control, and everybody says you low, you low, you low. They don't have any means to control that unless they have automatically adjust microphone volume ticked off, and then they can adjust that. So that's probably the
Your
only
operating system also has audio
Correct.
inputs that you can adjust.
that you can
Right.
adjust.
Sound,
Correct.
sound starts at your lips and it goes through your microphone, and then your microphone, depending what kind of microphone it is, may have an analog to digital converter. So let's say it's USB, it may have one right in the headphones or the microphone like I have. Then when it gets into the USB, there's more processing happening by your CPU and your sound card. And that's before it ever gets to Zoom. And then Zoom does some stuff too. And that's without having any external equipment.
And if people
Okay.
don't understand that, then the thing to say is, can you move your microphone closer to you? What microphone? Oh, it's in your computer. Can you move your computer closer to you?
I,
Or you
I,
teach them how to use their computer.
I don't know how helpful this has been to the audience. Maybe we've thoroughly confused them.
No, it's helpful to me because I wasn't sure about the relationship between
Sure,
that,
sure.
the gain, the level, the EQ. It's, and of course, Frank, what you
I
said is
think that
right. It's the most complicated part.
that frequency part is the
Yeah.
key thing when you switch it on or off.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch a TV show, especially like an older TV show or movie, and someone gets on a payphone and their voice has that very narrow frequency range? The people at Northern Telecom and Bell Telephone back in the early days of telephone decided that that was the most important frequency for clarity of human speech. Zoom's doing the same thing. It's preferring some frequencies over others to make it more intelligible.
Right. Right. Of course, back then it was how many? It was to allow them to cram more telephone calls down a trunk line.
That too, but they also did it so that you didn't need
It's 2
the
kilohertz.
frequent
I
you
remember.
didn't need to go from 5 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz for a telephone call. You didn't need all that extra
Yeah.
data. Like you weren't trying to listen to a symphony. You're trying to hear the human voice. That's why I put that stuff in the chat about the human voice and the frequency
Right.
response.
And then if you really want to confuse things, you could do like Hasmuth and I have, because we both have the same Shocks OpenCom system on, and it's doing something as well.
So that was an extremely useful discussion. I really think that whatever level people are at, if they're just beginners, well, they got something out of it, and they're real into this stuff, they got more out of it. And that's wonderful. So thank you all for answering that question.
Thank you. We are on 6.2.6 right now, at least over in the Mac world. And on Monday, we get 6.2.10, which is so darn exciting.
I
And
put the notes
Frank
in the chat.
just put
There's a
the
lot
notes
in there
chat.
actually. Like
There
it's not a
is.
huge upgrade, but there's a lot.
No, I agree 100%. Maybe let's hit some of the highlights together. So first of all, this is the first thing I'll say is that this is for all platforms. The last one that we had, if I go down here from November 11th, this was very sad to me. It was the 6.2.7, just some minor bug fixes and security enhancements just for Windows. But this is for all of the platforms. And remember, by the way, just a little user interface thing, when you're scrolling on this page, these tables scroll also. So if you get to the bottom and you think, oh, that's all, no, there's a lot more to scroll through. So, all right, let's take a look at it. So there's a feedback to Zoom setting enabled. If you have that enabled, excuse me, you can do thumbs up or thumbs down for AI companion response. Presumably the idea there is that it will learn from these, our feedback. Is it accurate? Was it easy to understand? Incorrect or made up? It misunderstood me. And you can also give text feedback. Sorry for the noise in the background. I have screaming children behind me. Or maybe you can't hear that because I'm using Zoom audio. I don't know.
No, we can hear them because
okay, sorry.
It's the human voice range, so Zoom's trying to help you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Zoom.
You also have it on low instead of high.
And I have it on low. That's why. That's actually what it is. Yeah. So I apologize for that. Meeting webinar. This is interesting. Improved visual indicators for lowering hand in meetings and webinars. So in a meeting or webinar, the lower hand icon and a floating lower hand button above the toolbar will appear, providing a clear visual cue. The floating button remains visible regardless of the display your reactions above toolbar setting. So yours don't miss the lowered hand state. So over in our settings, if I pull up, let me try and pull this up for us. There is, where are my settings? Now I can't find my set. Oh, there it is. Sorry. The green thing, and then you press that, and then you come over here. Okay, so let me jump back over here. In your settings, one of the settings is, and I'm not sure where it's going to be. I hope I'm looking in the right place. It's about where your reactions are displayed. Does anyone know where that is?
Scroll down.
Is it
I think
down? Appearance. Yeah, it's probably under appearance. So
There
here
it
it
is.
is. Thank you.
There
Sorry.
it is.
So there is a setting here, and this is what they're referring to: display your reactions above the toolbar. And presumably what that means is that when I go into the meeting,
Press
I
the
wonder if-
question mark or Michael come and beat you up.
wait, what?
When you had the option in the menu open, there was a question mark that you can click on, and instead of presuming, it'll tell you what it does.
Oh, fine.
Good point. Yeah.
Wait a second. So, oh shoot, I just pressed the wrong button. So let me pull this back up again. So we go to general, and I scroll down. Display your actions above toolbar. Always show nonverbal feedback, raise hand, and emoji selections during a meeting directly above the toolbar. So, okay, I have that checked. Here's my toolbar. I don't see those things.
Raise your hand.
No, it says, if I want to always show nonverbal feedback, raise hand and emoji selections during a meeting directly above the toolbar.
Selections. You have to select it to affect it.
That's not how I'm reading it. So if I uncheck that, what does that do? Same exact thing.
But you haven't selected one of those things. When you go down there and click on it, select something. Not
Yeah,
there.
No,
There.
that's
There.
Click.
Now select a raise hand.
There you
Now,
go.
there you go. There now it's doing what it's saying. That's your reaction.
Oh,
It's displaying. Some people have a visual indication of I've
okay.
got
So
my
if I
hand
turn that
raised.
off,
You click something else there.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, sorry. Okay, gotcha. So that doesn't show up there. Okay. So now what they're saying, all right, so that makes sense. So now what they're saying is, they're saying, if we get back to these who's what's it's over here, that now the lower hand icon and a floating lower hand button above the tool will appear, providing a clear visual cue. So I guess what I'm not clear on is, what does it look like when I raise my hand?
So
Where
I
is the hand
Have
raise?
to wait for the update to come out before we can test
No,
it.
but I'm curious about what it looks like before. I don't even know where that button is because I just use it on my Stream Deck. Okay, so I now have. Oh, let me actually bring this over here. Hold on a second. So I have. Here's the meeting again.
yeah, your hand is raised.
Right. Wait. Let me actually lower my hand. Okay, so my hand is lowered now. So watch. The question is, what's going to happen down here? I think when I raise my hand. So I raise my hand, and now I've got obviously the hand on my thing, and I've got this lower hand button here.
Right.
Now, what is this saying that?
Now turn off that indication.
Well, wait. Before I turn that off, the
Mhm.
lower hand icon and a floating lower hand button above the toolbar will appear, providing a clear visual cue. And now it's gone, but my hand
Even
went
if you
down.
haven't checked the thing that said to do it, this will appear no matter what.
So let me uncheck that. Okay. And
Now
now,
do it.
yeah. So now I'm going to come back here. Sorry, I have so many windows here. Oh, sorry. Click the wrong thing. Hand raise. Okay. So that's what this is saying. So now what this is saying is that's going to always be there.
Correct.
That's all it did. I was
Right,
actually
that's-
excited about this, but it didn't really do much because I had this on the whole time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're just saying, too many people
Yeah.
forget, so they're enhancing the function. It's not a new function, it's an enhanced function.
Okay. That makes sense. Sorry, I'm a little slow on that one. That took me a minute. Okay.
What would be really nice if they had allowed you to choose the color of the hand. They give you a range of colors, none of which show up well in my personal situation. I would love to have a bright red one or a bright yellow one or a bright green one, but no.
Well, I put mine back after using a skin tone. I went back to the yellow ones that we have here because, like you, people couldn't see my hand, or I couldn't see my hand when it was raised because of
Right.
my background. Yeah,
And now you will have a floating button to remind you.
that's right. All right, so that's that. Let's see what else we've got here. Unified experience for managing meeting assets. Users can view and manage meeting assets consistently before, during, and after meetings within the meeting scheduler calendar card, in meeting page, and full meeting details page. There's going to be a new unified UI, UX with consistent. What's the difference between UI and UX, by the way? I know user interface.
User
And
experience.
experience.
Oh, user experience. Thank you. So there'll be a unified UI UX with consistent grouping, categorization, functionality. Good. Calendar meeting card allows users to view the full meeting transcript recording directly within the card.
I think what they're, again, we'll have to wait until Monday for some of us to be able to try this out, but I think what they're trying to tell us is, historically, once a meeting or a webinar started, there are a whole bunch of settings you couldn't futz with if you went into the web interface or the UI.
Oh no, I don't think that's what this is about at all.
You don't think
You
so?
think they're changing that? No.
I think they're
No.
allowing it. I think they're going to allow it.
No. I think this is the way I'm reading this is just their, you know how when we were looking at audio, there were two different names for the same thing. There was Zoom background noise removal and Zoom optimized audio. I think all this is they're changing it so that it's the same name. I mean, not in that example, but here. I think
Well,
they're good.
I would hope that's the case because the
It's
other
gonna
one would
look the same.
cause chaos personally.
Right. I think it's just going to look the same is what they're saying. Let me pull up. So see, I don't have any meetings here. Well, let's do this. So here I am in my Zoom client, and I don't want to really connect a calendar. I'm just going to create an event. So, okay, we have that. So, repeat. Let me actually set it for tomorrow just so that passcode, waiting room, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Save. So now what is it doing? What just happened?
It's trying to go to whatever account you're using for.
That's
Now it's taking
interesting.
you to the web, and now it's taking you to the web UI.
Yeah, I wonder why though. I was logged in already. Let's see. Hold on a second.
Probably because your calendar wasn't connected. So that's, yeah.
No, but I'm not doing it on my calendar. What
It
is
thinks
going
you
on
are.
here?
It thinks you are.
You pick tomorrow.
Google.
So-
I'm so confused. What?
I suggest you just back out of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's really strange. So here's the meeting. I don't know why it just opened that all up. That's so interesting. Huh. All right. So here is I guess this is what they mean by the calendar card, right? The calendar meeting card, which I can't actually move. So I could start, view meeting info, host description, yada, yada, yada. Open full details. Just going to open it here. Okay. I guess again, I think it's just making it look the same, unless you all, I don't know if you disagree.
Probably. By the way, I think the reason I was trying to go to your calendar, you probably do have your calendar connected to Zoom, do you not?
No, not on this account.
But that's the
On-
point.
On my main account, I do, but not on this one.
Yeah, but so
So-
now it was trying to go to an account where you're connected.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right.
I think what they're telling us is currently you can go to meeting assets before the meeting starts. You can go to meeting assets during the meeting, and you can go to meeting assets after the meeting in a bunch of different places, and they all look a little bit different. And now they're going to try and make the appearance uniform so that no matter if you're in them before the meeting, during the meeting, or after, they'll all look the same, and you'll probably find them more easy to understand. Because it's weird when assets act differently depending when you see them.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And in meetings, we will also get a new reminder prompt to enable AI companion capabilities. Because
You're not showing your
I
that
know.
screen again.
I know, I was just reading it. We're going to get a reminder prompt to enable AI companion because everyone has to use AI companion.
No,
I've
we
never
don't.
used it.
We don't.
I've never used it.
It's
I've
on.
used
It's sitting there. It's begging me.
It's on right now. It just sent a message out to me saying, "Oh, by the way, this is on."
Yeah, I think that's because I pressed the button by accident.
I use it David, I use it a lot for my volunteer staff meetings because it's actually really good at summarizing the meeting and keeping
Yeah,
notes.
no, that piece, I'm with you. I think I was fetching more about the AI Companion 2.0 stuff that they launched in the app itself.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's what I was. But I'm with you there. Okay.
So
Sorry. Go ahead.
I accidentally turned on AI, and now every time I open a window and start a new meeting, it comes and it gives me a message saying, "Oh, the AI is doing its thing," and I'm going, "Yeah, well." I don't know where to find the information that the AI has collected.
It sends you an email after every meeting.
Or you can do it in the Zoom
And
web portal.
email,
Yeah.
If you go to
email
the Zoom,
where?
if you go to the Zoom web portal, so
Okay.
let's zoom.us.
I'll do that when you guys aren't. I mean, you finish doing what you're doing, and I'll figure.
Well, yeah, I'll just show folks where it is.
Right.
I don't think I'll have anything here, but if you go into the Zoom web portal, and you go to, well, again, there's nothing here to look at, unfortunately, but if you go to previous meetings, you can search by meeting, I believe, but you can also go to meeting summary, and here are all of your meetings. And you can get the quick recap, next steps, summary, right there. So this stuff is all in your, and then right above that is recordings and transcripts. So here's the recording and then the transcript below it. So all that stuff lives in your web portal.
I have a
Yep.
quick question for you.
Yeah.
You said Zoom.us. I always think of it as Zoom.us because I always thought it's an American company. Are you saying it's more like, hey, we're all together? And is it more friendly feely, or is it about being a US company?
No,
And that's a personal choice, Frank.
it's one syllable versus two.
Okay.
I was trying to save syllables. That's all.
Oh, okay. It just struck me as curious. I never think of it as us.
That's funny.
I wanted to say .ca. Would you prefer that?
Right. Would that be better?
Sure.
California.
Canada should take over.
All right. Wait, there's something exciting coming up. I want to get to it. So then we also have indicate existing call meeting participants for incoming calls and meeting invitations. That doesn't really excite me too much, but when there's an incoming meeting invitation, you can see how many current participants are there, and how many people are already in the call or meeting, which is nice. This enhancement helps the user better prepare for the context and audience of the meeting. That's nice. Previously, you could only see the person who initiated the meeting. This next one is the one that I'm kind of excited about. Improve speaker visibility in gallery view with follow drag order and sort by active speaker option.
Oh, that's interesting.
So during a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. When the participant starts speaking, they will remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted, even if they lower their hand. I'm not sure I understand this.
Well, when you raise your hand, you go to the upper left corner in gallery view, and if you lower your hand, you go back where you were.
Yeah, but if they break that, that's actually really important.
That's going to change a bunch of workflow.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem actually if they change that.
So, but they're saying it's going to be a delay before you go back to the other place. Is that what they're saying?
During a
this
meeting-
this
Sorry.
may work out for you, Dave, for us, David, that use this function, because you'll still go to the upper left-hand corner. What they're saying is if the guy, whoever is speaking is overly ambitious and lowers his hand once he starts speaking, he won't automatically float back down to where he was before.
So that's interesting. And that actually happens to me all the time. So, okay, wait, this is good. Let me clear this and let me go into, all right, whoops. So I'm going to bring our meeting here onto the screen so that people can see. I think this will work. I'm not entirely sure. Let me bring this down here and then, and I'll go like this. Okay.
And that's what's going to happen next week.
Right. No, I understood. But what I want to do is show.
It would be gallery view.
Yeah, hold on a second. Bear with me a second. All right. So now we're in gallery view. So what happens is if Peter raises his hand.
Which, let me go do that. I knew that you were going to do that to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So
now
I am.
see how he jumped up to the top left, which is perfect. Now, as a producer, what I usually do is I usually lower his hand and watch what happens when his hand lowers, he jumps back. Right? So if you're right, what this is saying is that person will remain in their current position, meaning that number one position, until they finish speaking or are muted. And even if they lower their hand. And the reason that would be helpful for me personally is that this has happened a number of times, is that if I've got 100, 200, 300 people in a meeting and I am muting or unmute, or spotlighting based on if their hands are raised, as soon as their hand goes down, I lose them in the gallery. What would happen here is they would stay there until they're muted and then they would disappear.
Yeah.
Presumably. But it would break the workflow of you're up next that Jeff built for us, because the you're up next folks won't really be up next yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's what's actually happening.
Not to have that thing popping up all the time.
Say again?
I said that would be nice not to have that thing popping up all the time. You're up next. No, I'm not. You're up next. No, I'm not.
Well, I turned it off. I don't know if any of you noticed, by the way. I turned it off.
Thank you.
It is kind of annoying. Yeah. Frank, go ahead.
The only thing I read some support notes about this. The only thing I'm not certain of is this a global option that everyone in the universe is going to have to abide by, or can I personally change my account to do it one way and you can have your account set up to do it the other way? Because from a training perspective, it's going to be confusing and hard to explain to people if some people are doing it one way and some people are doing it the other way.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm not sure that I fully understand the first part of this. But so everyone watch Frank. Wait. Hold on, that didn't work. And then he jumped again. So again, I wonder what will happen if his hand is still raised, but then he mutes, right? So this is saying that they'll remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted. I wonder if they're muted, but their hand is still raised, what'll happen?
That's a whole can of worms in the Zoom community forum. There are a ton of people who are mad at Zoom that if you start talking and you have your hand raised, your hand goes down, and there's a lot of people who don't want their hands to go down for 2 or 3 various reasons.
Although it didn't go down for you just then. I just want to say,
I'm speaking, my hand is up, but I haven't gotten that message yet, which usually floats above the bar that says, you seem to have stopped speaking. Shall we lower your hand?
well, it's because you didn't stop speaking.
Now I'm getting that message. I'm going to cancel it. My hand is going to stay up until I'm there. Now let me mute this and see if it goes away.
For what it's worth, I found that hand automatically going down thing to not always work. That has not at all been consistent for me.
One reason people are mad about it is, let's say we're having a meeting and you say, David, okay, gang, who wants Chinese food on Fridays? And keep your hands up because I have to count. And meanwhile, a bunch of us jump into the conversation and then we stop talking, your hands goes down, and you haven't recorded all of the people's, like you want the hand to persist until you've taken the whole roll.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's when they should use the under
I know,
React,
a survey or a survey or something.
or the yes button. Right?
But anyways, there's a bunch of people who are angry about this.
Yeah.
If you do tech support, you'll find there's always somebody angry about something all the time,
Of course.
no matter which way you make the tool work.
And frequently it's the same person.
I don't understand the first part of this that says during a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. When is the most recent speaker not visible in the gallery view? Do they mean? I don't understand that. Who is not visible in the gallery view? Everyone. The whole point is that everyone's visible in the gallery view.
What if you've got 300 people
No, but that. So it's not that they'll be visible in the gallery view. It's that they'll be visible on the page of the gallery view that you're on.
Yeah. Well, let me ask a different question. Is there a difference between the active speaker and the most recent speaker? I'm picking on the English language at that point, but
Yes, there is.
Sure.
right. So maybe the active speaker will be in the upper left and the most recent speaker will be one to the right.
No, but it's the most recent active speaker.
Most recent active, not the active speaker.
No.
Tune in next Friday and we'll check it out.
Okay.
Tune into the
Right.
Zoom test kitchen next Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern
No, you're
Standard
right.
Time and to
we're-
see what happens.
Parsing it, which is silly. Okay, let's do a little more here.
What are you showing?
What am I showing? What do you mean?
You got
Showing
preview,
everything.
click to resume, stream and record, main camera.
Oh, this is Ecamm. Sorry,
All right.
it's just it's easier for me to show Zoom this way because, as you said, Zoom doesn't share nicely. So I will get out of this. Okay. Okay. Enhancement to thumbs up, thumbs down survey experience. Yes. Because no one uses this.
Yeah.
That's not true. I never use this. So apart from selecting display for every meeting and displayed randomly, account owners and admins have the ability to choose to show the thumbs up, thumbs down survey at the end of meetings where a user encounter issues, I guess user encountered issues, such as inability to join, poor video, audio, content sharing quality, yada, yada, yada. Survey is triggered based on quantitative metrics that indicate a suboptimal user experience. This is based on the MOS score of the meeting whose range can be set by the admin. Okay, so this is not thumbs up, thumbs down in a meeting. This is a survey after a meeting. If Zoom automatically detects that you had a crummy experience based on this MOS score, which I've never heard of before, but I'm hoping Frank can fill us in.
Mean opinion score.
And this is something that you set in your settings?
Yeah, I don't know if everyone has this. I know my account has this. In the admin area, in the dashboard, I think you can set levels of so Zoom does active metering of the meetings and the health of the meeting. So poor connectivity, poor audio, poor whatever. If you want to, you can go into that as an admin and say send alerts if it goes below 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, whatever the scale they have is. Um, so I think the admin can also determine, like, let's say the scale is 1 to 5, and I decide any meeting that's below a 3 is not acceptable. Um, it'll send reports to people that you designate.
I don't think it
Um,
shows up in the pro account though. I think
I
it
don't.
only.
I'm always lack knowledge in that area because I only have access to an enterprise account, but that's how it works
Right,
in the enterprise account.
right. Because I have seen it on, our
But
local Scout Council has an enterprise account with 20 licenses, and it does show up there.
yeah, so basically you can turn on a feature in Zoom that allows you to monitor the health of meetings, and if enough meetings are going below this, you know, level, it alerts you and keeps reports and stuff. And then I guess this new ability, you'll be able to say, put up an experience survey that people can say, yeah, the meeting was crummy, my audio sucked, or whatever, right? That's
All
what it
right.
sounds like.
So it says here, here's the help article. Sign to the web portal and navigation panel, click account management, then account settings. And I have a feeling this is going to make me log into, because this is just a single account.
I've got it up on mine so I can,
Oh yeah?
what you're saying.
Fantastic. Go for it.
No, you keep reading and I'll do it.
Yeah, but
You
we need to
have
see it.
log- Well, okay,
Uh,
you share screen, but you're sharing screen. Why don't you finish first?
No, I'm not sharing screen. Go ahead.
All right.
So while she's doing that, you go into account management, then account settings, click the meeting tab under admin options. Which I don't have here. All right, here we go. So account settings, go into meeting. And then it says under admin options section, click the meeting quality scores and network alerts on dashboard toggle. I'm going to also search for that
I'm looking
myself.
for admin option. Boy, it's a long page here.
Admin option. Interesting. It only came up for me under recording. Yeah, this may very well be something that you and I don't have access to.
Not on,
Anyone
yeah,
seeing admin option come by yet?
no. Like I say, I've only ever seen this on the group I work with that has an enterprise account. I have seen it
Yeah.
used there,
Yeah.
but on my personal account, nah, it never shows up.
I wonder if it doesn't say here. It's interesting that it doesn't say like who it's available for.
Good grief.
Account owners and admins. Dashboard of the current meter. Meetings, it says dashboard, meetings, past
Got to
meetings.
the bottom and there is no such thing.
Yeah. Meetings.
Lois, it was
Previous-
there. You scrolled right past it.
He's kidding.
I'm not kidding. I saw it.
Wait, what? Where'd you see it?
Scroll up. More. Well, maybe not that fast. I can't read that fast.
Why don't I just search for it?
Yeah, just do the search then.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't
yeah,
come up,
it was
though.
there. It was there. I saw it. I was muted and I was saying there, and nobody was hearing
I'm
me.
sorry.
So it was admin, what am I looking for? Admin
Options.
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 It's only going to find it under recording. Yeah, that's what I found too.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how it works for you, pro account people. Account management.
I searched for
Zoom.
admin and I got a few more things.
User, blah, 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 account management, account settings, meetings, scroll all the way to the bottom. I always find it's easier to scroll bottom, roll up than it is to scroll all the way down when I look for this stuff. There
Okay,
we go.
None of this is what you're talking about. So I
I
don't.
found it. I found it.
But you're in a more professional account, right?
I suppose. Oh,
You're
do you
in
mind if I share?
No, please go ahead.
Admin options.
Okay, wait. Oh, that's okay. That's account. Yes. Okay, that's
Account management, account settings.
yeah. So
The meetings,
that's
the meetings tab all the way near the bottom.
right. So that's because you have to be in an admin account. So
Yeah.
now I'm in an admin account, and now I can come down here
Meeting
to-
quality scores and network
Yep.
alerts on dashboard. I can show you what that looks like if you want.
Admin.
Dashboard. I gotta be careful not to show any personal data. So there's your system health up here. And then if you configure it, it'll send alerts on things. I don't think we've enabled most of it, but you can set thresholds where you say, okay, I'm not satisfied with this level of quality, send alerts
Huh.
and do things.
Yeah, meeting quality scores and network alerts on dashboard, and then set custom threshold for network alerts. Interesting. Okay.
I don't even seem to have a dashboard.
No, so
Really? Pro accounts don't have dashboards?
Well, you go to account management, that's where you are, is it? Under admin, account managements?
So the dashboard is account management.
Okay, I'm an account
It's but it's not inside of account management. You know where it says admin on the
yeah,
left-hand panel? It's
Yeah.
the very first thing under admin, at least it is for me.
plans and billing.
Oh,
right.
or although I don't know.
Yeah, so here's
Since I'm only one person,
that may be the
it wouldn't-
issue.
it wouldn't make sense for me to have control of a group because I'm only one person.
So here I can show you quickly. So this I'm now in the admin account for my business, and I've got I've got it right here, dashboard, right under plans and billing.
The
But if I-
dashboard's super useful. I love the dashboard.
Right. But if I were to switch, let's just to the Zoom Test Kitchen account, which is a sub account, I guess, then there is no dashboard.
But are you an admin in this account? Only
Yes.
admins can see the dashboard.
But yes, but so this is an account as a part of my business plan.
And you're logged in as the admin?
And this is the only account.
Okay,
Yeah.
just clarifying.
Yeah. So it's there doesn't seem to be a dashboard for only the admins.
Is it an enterprise account? Probably, or
No,
is it a,
mine's just a business account.
yeah.
In any case, so yeah, so here's that dashboard, and there's right MOS. So good MOS is 4 to 5, fair MOS is 3 to 4, and this is real time. Is this real time?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. So
It'd be useless if it wasn't, because you'd be finding out a day after that half your users were having a crummy experience.
Yeah.
You want to know right away, right?
Huh. Fascinating. So all of this is to say that now you will get this thumbs up, thumbs down survey at the end of meetings when there are issues that are identified in the meeting.
based, I think, on the score that you've decided is unacceptable.
Right. Yep.
But we have, in my account, I have meeting surveys turned on after the meeting anyways. And it's a, you know, how was your meeting? And you can give it a rank. Like that already sort of exists if you
And
want to
what do
turn
you
it
do
on.
with that? Once you do,
It
so
goes
do
straight,
you
it goes
then
straight,
receive
it
that?
goes straight to Zoom.
You
It goes straight to
don't do
Zoom.
anything with it. Okay.
I don't, but Zoom gets the data, and that way, if a lot of people are complaining, I think I can review the data, but the ratings are always really high. Like it's always close to 99% satisfaction. It's really high.
Right. We've got some enhancements to AI Companion, or how you enable it rather in Meeting Scheduler. Meeting host can enable AI Companion features like meeting summary, in-meeting questions with one click using the AI Companion diamond button. Okay. Access AI Companion within a meeting card.
That's a weird place to access it, but I wonder what the use case is.
This AI Companion entry point displays potential prompts that change based on the meeting's timing. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I never use the meeting card, so that's
I use them a tiny little bit, but I don't know.
I for me at least, my workflow is you send me an invite, it automatically ends up in my Google Calendar, and I click on the link.
Feels like it's just a shortcut to the AI side panel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's some, oh, look at this. For webinar, share content only view mode. That's interesting. Okay, so now you can select a shared content only view mode that displays only the shared content to attendees, hiding all panelists' video tiles.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is. And even when camera hosts are turned, when their cameras are turned on, you can also use this. Hosts and panelists can also select this view for their personal use from the view menu or participant list. So if I'm a presenter and I don't want to see myself, like as a confidence monitor, presumably, I may want to turn this on. Attendees will see this view automatically if the host has set the attendee view to shared content only or to follow host view. And you've set it to shared content only. Huh.
Interesting.
You know what could be nice about that is that if you, I mean, this is sort of a terrible workaround, but there are folks who, because you can get higher resolution with screen share, there are folks that will sometimes, instead of bringing an OBS or an eCam or a whatever into Zoom as a virtual camera, sometimes what they'll do is they'll bring it in as a screen share, which is not great practice because then you've got, what's it called, the frame rate issues. But and what's always been weird about that is that you have the screen share, but then you've also got the same thing up in your little camera. Now you can turn that little camera off for a cleaner experience. That's interesting. Users can access and manage surveys and polls directly from the Zoom desktop app. Integrate surveys and polls into the Zoom desktop app. Are they not currently? I guess not.
I don't think
They're
you
only
can
in the
manage
web.
them from the desktop app.
Huh.
No, you can't.
You have to go to the web portal. I guess they're saying you don't
Interesting.
have to do that anymore.
Users can view unfurled app content within the chat window without leaving the conversation context. When an app link is shared, users can open and interact with the content directly in the chat, providing a seamless experience. Oh wait, is that team chat or is that for meeting?
Team chat.
It says meeting chat.
Well, the label says team chat features.
I know, that's why I'm a little confused. Because if it's for in meeting, I like that. Because when you click on an app, what it does is it opens up the app window. It would be nice if it just all happened right in the chat window. That would actually be nice. And then some mail and calendar stuff. Common email settings on mobile devices. New mobile settings UI. Okay. Unified medium card design across meetings and chat. What's a medium card? Are they
I have no idea.
Does it say what product it's for?
mail and calendar features?
And then Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. So the desktop clients.
In the calendar meeting card?
Interesting.
Don't know what that is.
Zoom Mail and Calendar app introduces a redesigned calendar schedule modal that unifies the scheduling experience. Okay. Within the unified homepage, if Calendar is connected, customers can add location, description, and find available time of attendees. Okay. Keyboard shortcuts for Zoom Mail. Bidirectional calendar sync enabled by default. That's just smart.
Mhm.
Oh, clips. Boy, this is kind of a big release.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. Some of the clips ones were interesting, I thought.
Improved pagination and navigation for clip list. Okay. Enhancements to admin control for embed feature.
Yeah, that one looked interesting to me.
Calendar admins have the option to enable or disable the clip embed feature for their entire organization. Okay. When it's enabled, users can embed their recorded clips in external websites. Can we not embed now? I guess maybe not. That's
I think
interesting.
the ability to prevent people from doing it might be the new thing.
User can embed the okay. Conversely, disabling it restricts it from being shared outside the organization. Okay. JC record to start recorder. Control Shift C. I didn't even know that global shortcut was being used. I wonder why. I
think
guess
some
just-
people were complaining that it's a shortcut that's used for something else in a lot of other software, and it was
that's just on Windows also.
making them
That's
angry.
interesting. Yeah. Automatic chapter generation and editing capabilities in clips. That's nice. That's fantastic. We're getting a lot of the Zoom AI companion stuff over in clips. That's nice. And some phone stuff that I usually skip in contact center. We shouldn't skip this stuff, but I don't use it all. And it's almost 5, so. Security, Zoom crashed in Linux.
Linux people are getting some love.
Yeah, updating a Zoom meeting when the desktop duplicates. Okay. Look at that. Resolved an issue where users were unable to see or hear participants and encountered a black screen. Ugh. Boy, there's a lot. Really, there's a lot in here. Oh, wait, this is not letting me scroll nicely. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, that's on Monday. That's a nice big one. That's great. Wow. We'll have a few things to play with next week. Oh my goodness, Frank, I didn't get to say hello to you before.
Sorry, I was late.
I kind of did. No,
It was my own fault. I was helping someone do something.
But we congratulated you in absentia for the Zoom community winning the award.
I won an award? I didn't even know.
Oh, sure. Here, wait, I'll show it to you. It's Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. Let me go back. It's from Koros.
Right.
Best customer support community.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I didn't personally win it. The Zoom community won it.
Right. No, sorry.
Yeah. They lobby hard. The Zoom, the company Zoom lobbies hard all of their community champions to go and vote for them. They really want this award.
Well, they got it. I voted for them. So it's good stuff. All right. It's feeling like we've come to the end.
Anyone from
Consider-
Zoom's listening, they need some new swag. I can't use any more backpacks or baseball caps. I need some new things.
What kind of swag do you want?
Something different. I don't know. They never offer t-shirts. I would like a Zoom t-shirt.
Oh, you should definitely get a t-shirt.
One of my
Clear-
reps told me he was going to give me a t-shirt and he never did.
Clearly appropriate for Canada this time of year.
We wear layers.
All right, my friends.
Well, have a great weekend.
You too. Everyone have a great
Yeah.
weekend. We'll see you next week.
And don't
Have a good
forget to
one.
check out our Discord.
Don't forget to check out our Discord. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have
All
a
right,
good one,
gentlemen.
folks.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Bye, Mike. If you're still watching,